All right, time to watch 28 Years Later, man. I mean, this is going to be really cool. It's going to be like an old classic zombie movie.
We also have to wait till the visual effects are finalized. You know.
Yeah, to see how
I would say if it's a close one,
Yeah.
you know.
And unfortunately, I feel like I watched a movie from the 90s and then they told me, oh shit, it's 28 years later. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for 28 years later. This one... Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for today. This one's going to be doing my next movie review. This one is for 28 years later from 2025. So, I am a little bit late to the party on this one. I think about a week or so roughly. I felt like I got a chance to go ahead and see this movie, and I did want to discuss it and kind of give my overall thoughts on what I thought about 28 years later. So, I'm a big fan of this franchise. I've watched, obviously, 28 Days Later back, a long time ago. 28 Weeks Later, of course, which does not feel canon to this movie whatsoever. We'll kind of go into that. And then obviously we have 28 Years Later, which is a very, interesting follow-up to say the least. Now, it feels like a follow-up stylistically wise, of course, but it doesn't really feel like a follow-up when it comes to anything to do with anything. It's kind of its own standalone in its own right, which I do like that. I think that's good because if you aren't aware, this is the beginning of a trilogy of films which will be carrying on through the 28 Years Later saga, I guess, or anything like that. So we're going to be getting 2 other movies following up this, which makes sense because I got to admit, a lot of the questions that I had on the world building and the way things work was kind of not answered. I kind of had more questions in this than I really had answers, which is fine because it's the beginning of a trilogy. I don't expect to have, answers right away, you know what I'm saying? But, man, I gotta say, the biggest thing that impressed me with this movie right off the bat is Spike, the lead, the kid. He was really good, actually. He was really good. I liked him a lot. I thought it was kind of interesting, you know what I'm saying? The concept of the movie. They're on this, island. They're on this piece of land. They're kind of living on their own terms. And then they kind of decide, him and his dad kind of decide to go on, the mainland. And while the zombies are fucking scary. The zombies are as scary as, they can be. I thought there was a lot of really intense sequences with them. I like some of the stylistic choices they had. Like, I like the one part where you kind of see this, like, red, like, night vision, and then you see, like, these glowing eyes and stuff. There was some really good horror type of stuff in it, you know what I'm saying, that really was good. Now, does it compare good to 28 Days Later? I would say no, you know what I'm saying? I think the scariness was definitely a bit more real in that movie. But 28 Weeks, I think, well, okay, here's the thing. I won't spoil 28 Weeks, I guess, just in case people haven't seen 28 Weeks Later, but there's a thing that they establish in that movie that they kind of almost like make non-canon in this. You'll kind of understand what I'm talking about once you see both movies. There's definitely a stylistic choice for them to decide to not make that movie canon to this one. Again, clearly things are still going on. It's been 28 years. We're seeing how things are kind of working, you know what I'm saying? So you can kind of figure out what I'm saying there, kind of in between. They kind of make things non-canon, which is fine, but obviously it kind of, makes you wonder, like, why didn't they just make a new IP at times, you know what I'm saying? One of the biggest things I can kind of criticize about this movie is the way it's filmed. Sometimes it was good and immersive, and then other times I was kind of like, damn, bro, like, this is a modern movie, really? Like, damn, like, it didn't feel modern to me. It felt very, like, off. But it was still good, you know what I'm saying? I still liked the way it was filmed. I thought it was good enough, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, Spike was a really good lead. I gotta say, he was really enjoyable. I like the kid's charisma. I think this definitely could build a future for him, you know what I'm saying? He was very likable to an extent, of course, and, the soundtrack was really good, the overall vibe of it, the zombies were scary, I liked a lot of how they did it, but again, like, there were definitely things about this movie that kind of went, off course a little bit, you know what I'm saying, and I do kind of, acknowledge that as well, too, in terms of some of the execution and stuff like that, but in general, I had a good time with it. I thought it was, good enough. I thought it was, an enjoyable zombie horror with some pretty good writing, pretty good characters. I thought it did a good enough job. I definitely prefer the other 2 installments of this franchise so far, though. I'm going to be honest about that. But this was still good, you know what I'm saying? It was still good. I think they could have made it a little bit more modern, a little bit more well-directed. I mean, I don't know if you guys know this, but apparently this movie was filmed on an iPhone, so, I mean, that's fucking nuts to me. That's absolutely insane. And I get it, immersion and stuff, but it almost felt so cheap to a degree to where I was like, am I even watching a movie, you know what I'm saying? Which, that's not good. I could definitely tell where this was filmed and how this was filmed, and it does kind of drag it down to an extent extent, but again, those are minor nitpicks to this, to this point, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Overall, what would I kind of give this movie? I give it an 8, you know what I'm saying? It was a good enough movie. It's an 8 out of 10 for me. I enjoyed enough of it, but I also thought that there were some things they could have improved on overall. That's kind of how I would look on it, kind of in general. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions down below. Post your thoughts. Post your opinions down below. What do you think of 28 Years Later? Will you be checking out the other 2 movies? Are you in it for the, the trilogy? I definitely am. I'm going to be checking out the other ones as well. Or are you kind of saying, like, you're good type of thing? Let me know. So if you're new to the channel and you enjoy videos like this, guys, make sure to click subscribe and tune up to any of the videos. Make sure to follow me on Dan's Reviews Official on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos very soon. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys, and peace out.
Born in the dark alleys, city of concrete. Dan's reviews blowing up, never taste defeat. Walking Dead dissected every plot twist beat. World gone mad, TV junkies hit a treat. Typing up scripts, marathon through the night. His opinions hit harder than a straight fight scene. Every episode, brain sharper than a knife. He's the beacon of critique, shedding TV light.